Now today I have this massive big Sony 3-in-1 type system. A model on it somewhere. This was at the tip shop for $25 for ages. CD doesn't work, tape deck doesn't work, radio works, which is the only good part in it. And they wanted $25 for ages, and then they finally dropped it to $10. And I thought, what the hell, I might buy that for parts if nothing else. HCD-XB4. Made in Indonesia, which I think, well, some of the Sony stuff was made in Malaysia. Yeah, then it probably went to Indonesia. So I think it's got a power cord somewhere. At least we got that on it. Because this wasn't just sold for parts, which is what they should do. Say, oh, the radio works, so we can sell it as a radio. And it looks like there's a couple of discs floating around. We're in demo mode. I hate demo mode. There's some sort of, here we go. Looks like a burnt disc, and I think I can see another one there. So how do we get rid of, do we turn it on? Oh, power's there. Ugh. Certainly doesn't sound too happy. Might need a new belt in the CD player. How do we disc skip there? A lot of dust in it, I'm not surprised it doesn't work. Yeah, I thought I saw a disc in there. Maybe, no, it's probably just the way player the light. Well, let's put that disc in. God knows what's on that, if anything. Well, it's trying to read. It's actually reading, I think. Ooh, it's playing. Don't know how well, but it looks like the CD player does actually go. So normally the lasers in these aren't too bad. But when they say faulty, it could just mean that it doesn't work 100%. Now, where's the volume on this thing? Let's min. That's what I want to see. Can't really turn it off before I plug it in, but and I didn't check the amp for DC, which I probably should have done. I'm not sure if they got a protection relay in these. Because one of these will catch me out one of these days. I forgot this was even in the garage, so it'd be good to get rid of this thing. Really? Oh, does that change tracks? It sure does. It actually works quite well. I don't know what they're talking about. So I can get a antenna on this thing. Some sort of bass boost on. But the radio certainly works alright. I've got super woofer on. Groove. Yeah, God, how many modes has it got? Super woofer sounds quite good. Listen to that sort of music. Whoa. What the hell? Oh man, when they said the tape deck stuff. Well, we scored a Songs of Joy. Brilliant. Wow, the whole door assembly is completely cactus, I think. Is this dual auto reverse or just, yeah, it is dual auto tape select, high density auto reverse. I think it is a dual auto reverser, but I don't like the look of that bit, being honest. What is that? Oh yeah, it's busted, I think. The bit that holds the two doors in the middle is broken off, and I can't get that door to open for some reason. What actually allows it to? Ah, because probably the mix. That one's got the head in the wrong spot. The one that ironically lets you open the thing. And the other one won't let it open. But the head's in the right spot. The pinch rollers, I think, are in the right spot down. Yep, same as the other one. So, dare I even look at this thing? I guess we'll have a quick look now that I bought it. STK4182 Mark II, That might be the amp chip I needed for my other amp. Great big power transformer made in Indonesia. So at least it's got a decent amp in it. And here's our tape deck. The whole front's rather loose, I'm not sure. I think these do come off fairly easy. Being a Sony, they're normally pretty good to work on. Might be easiest, I think, particularly with this type of CD door, it's probably easy to get the whole front panel off. Take these 4 screws out from underneath. Oh, this has actually got, that's right, they've got a panel on these on the bottom to actually access the CD mech. God, I forgot they did that. That's a great idea. Yeah, it's been a long time since I looked at one of these systems. But yeah, I think you can pull the whole CD, like the whole mech is in the laser part. Three connectors, and hopefully we've got the front off, except it's got this silly wire thing in the way. Man, the dust in this thing, it's filthy. But yeah, there is a, God, that's a lot of weight in that thing. There's a door, there goes the CD, here for, God, it's easy to do it with a drill, I think. These are quite tight screws. So I can certainly give the CD a bit of a service. Yeah, there's the mech. And yeah, I think you can just undo that screw there and drop the whole thing out. Might have to test that. But yeah, from memory, that's what they did. A brilliant design like that, because that was the main bit you needed to get access to. So I'll get rid of this great big lump of metal and transformers and stuff. And there we have it. One big horrible front unit, which needs a massive amount of cleaning out. It's full of dust and cobwebs, and wow, this thing probably been another shed unit. But I guess we might as well pull the tape deck out and have a look, see what we got here. And whether it's similar to any other Sonys I've looked at. You know, the Sonys were the, actually I found another one of those too, a Sony dual tape deck. But I've got to look at another plastic fantastic from this same sort of era. Yeah, I think the Sony was mainly just one hi-fi deck. I guess I've got a... Where's the... Yeah, there's the lever that releases it. I don't know, it works when you press... Oh, is there a separate... Oh, there's an eject on each side, is it? What the... Are you serious? Oh, there is too. So it's got like a dual door. Ah, that's why one... What a weird design. So when this door opens, it leaves one of them... I guess that means you can leave that deck running, maybe. Huh. Didn't realise. I thought that was just because it was broken. Now, did I eject the other side? I didn't, so that won't be much good. Got distracted, didn't I? I can get rid of that. And we're down to the basic mechanism, which, oh my god, there's a capstan come loose in there. The metal's fallen off the plastic bit. Yeah, well, maybe both of them. Just one, I think. Sitting there lopsided. Guess probably you need to bring the camera down would help. Yeah, so that capstan there is, don't know if it shows up well on the camera, but it's sitting on a funny angle and it's loose. Look at that, just dropped off. Whoop, and there goes our broken bit. We've got something broken here. Yeah, that just comes out. Oh, it actually does come out. Looks like at least we can get them out of the way. Oh yeah, they just unclip. Oh, that's nice and easy. But what is this thing? I guess that is busted off in two places? Where's the other bit go? Oh, it goes through that hole there. What have we got there? I think there's just a bit of broken plastic under there, so that would have gone in there and yeah, broken off under that screw. So that's something that goes brittle, I guess. And I don't see an easy way of fixing that, because that's going to be fairly critical. Now this one has a head in a random position. So that's a bit of a problem. Can I run this motor? Oh, we've got a real motor, which I guess runs here. It can go to either deck. So I don't can. Oh, we must be able to run both decks at once. So here it is. Oh, is this like? This is like one of those plastic hi-fi decks, I think. Was that the bit that used to break in them? At least if we know it's the same mech, it might be good for parts one of them. I guess I should dig that other one out and have a look at the same time. I think I had both of them free. The one I'd fixed and the one I hadn't. Which I didn't even know I had the second one, so that's why I definitely didn't fix that one. I wonder if I should get rid of these. Get rid of those wires. We'll leave them facing that way so I know where they went. And we've got one belt. Oh, so there's a belt there. So that's the main, that's the idler bit. So what's this thing do then? That swings between a little plastic gear there and some sort of half gear thing there. That's not to do with, I don't know, does that lift the decks or something? I mean, we may have a broken head, although it's not loose, so I don't think it's broken. We do have a circuit board on this, unfortunately. But it looks like, oh, except for these, what have we got here? That's our head connections. They're soldered on and then a little plastic pin, I guess, holds it. I guess the point is you can flip that. We can unplug this. They just look like something that's, you know, risk of ripping easily. But let's have a look. Get the board loose. I guess we should be able to flip that over the motor. Is that a date on that? If it is, I've got no idea what the hell it's supposed to say. Oh, there's a date there, of course. 1st of November 97. Oh yeah, that's what it says. Oh no, it says the 3rd of the 11th, or 8th of the 11th, 97 is stamped on it, but that says 01 November 97. Oh, I'm getting black stuff on me, that's not a good sign. Oh, there's black stuff here, what's that? Is that it? Yeah, that's it, there's goo. What's that come off? I doubt that's off belts. Oh, God. So if we lift it up, it says it's already pulling on these cables, because this stuff's in the way. And if we just... Yeah, I don't like these sort of things. Easy to tear. Gonna have to be super careful, I think. What do we got here? Bias oscillator. A couple of fusible resistors, I guess, could go. WR2E only. Some sort of little chip, another little chip. Some pots. 13th of November 97. So maybe that's what that is. 13th. It's probably 13, not 3rd. The more I look at it, is that a second number there? Could have been, yeah. I think that was a badly stamped 13th of the 11th. So the motor got made on the 1st of November, and this mechanism probably got assembled. Someone's done their little quality control stamp on the 13th of November 97. So we can take the motor off. Might have to, I think, because that capstan's got to come out. What, we've got one big long belt. What's that? Oh, that's 2 belts on the motor. Oh, that's going to be fun to put back on, isn't it? And anyway, it's the end of today for doing this, I think. So I'll probably have to get back onto it later. But I can't really fix the thing anyway, but we'll have a quick... What's holding that piece on? It just slots somehow in there. So we can sort of lift this up. The belts obviously haven't been used for a bit because they're holding their shape a bit. So that went around those 2, did it? Must have done. Let's hang that over there. There's some other black gooey stuff there maybe. Is that just grease? Yeah, I think that's just grease. Now we've got to get that out. And that went around that capstan, around that little pulley, and touching the other capstan. Well, that's off on the way. This one, I wonder if it went round there. Almost by the time we get it apart, yeah, it's probably more likely to go under there. It looks like it's got a bit of a bend there. Yeah, I think that went under that one. Should really put new belts in it, but... And we've got this, after that swings to either of these things. This little other motor, which do what? I'm not sure. Oh, is that instead of a solenoid to activate? Yeah, this mech's more, well, that one's not engaged. I assume it's meant to, oh, yeah, but it's about 4 teeth up. And that one's about 4 teeth, so maybe that's right. Is that the one with the... Oh, that's the one with the head in the right spot, I think. Ooh, God, those cables are tight. Now, which is that one? This capstan here. Might get a smaller screwdriver, I think. Not that one. Get this plastic clip off. But I do need some more of these plastic clips and stuff. I don't know what happened to my kit of them, whether I gave it away or what. I would have thought I'd keep it, but I can't find it, so even just pinching these sort of parts out of some of these things would be handy. Or maybe pull an old VCR apart or something that's got some... Yeah, that's the one with the head like it's halfway rotated through a mode. Well, where's these gears? That one, well, that one's turning. Ooh, I think we just loaded it up. Now, does that have something to do with unloading it or engaging the gear? Yeah, I think that does. What a weird design. And then if we push that again, yeah, that's the gear engager instead of a solenoid. Huh. Wow. And that's the mech back down. This should come out. Oh, it's obviously pretty dirty. Oh, this is one of these things that should twist on and should lock in place, but it doesn't lock in place, does it? Because it's got these 3 little tabs which are probably all had their day. Yeah. I bet if I poke on those they'd probably fall off. Close. These little tabs here should... Yeah, I think they're just broken. Yeah, that's just about to fall off. That's what I would have expected. In some ways, yeah, they're all busted. You probably should get rid of them, really. Because otherwise they're going to drop off in a mech somewhere and cause grief. Not sure which one. What's this? It's got an arrow on it for some reason. Does that matter? I can't see how it's critical. But that can just be put on, I guess, and glued maybe. Where's the little holes gone there? So if that stays in place, I think I have to glue that together. Now let's flick this other deck. Get that out of my way. Go away, cable. Hang on, which way did the other one go? I thought I was going that way. So going that way. Clockwise. Well, that's loaded up. Although this is going to have one of these, some other way of... Oh no, the head has come back. Yeah. Well, oh, I thought the head would be rotated. Oh, wrong way again. Rotated. Well, I guess this only engages one way, so you know if you... Yeah, the head's gone back. So maybe that's all that needed, just rotating. I wonder why it stopped in one spot though. Dunno. So all we'll do is glue that capstan back together. And I can probably just chuck this back together and see if it works. Give it a quick clean. It's actually got a brass pulley on it, my god, what the hell, and a new one, that should be plastic you would think. Yeah, it's a bit more fancy than you expect in anything modern. Let's especially one of these Sony plastic mechs. God, look at the dust in it. And that capstan is absolutely filthy. That pinch roller is rusted as well, so that's not much good. And that one's not a lot better, so I think it still spins okay, but probably not as freely as it should. That's rotted, I think. Is that loose? Making crunching sounds. This one's not much better either. It's probably better than that one. Yeah, no, that's as tight and crunchy and it's at its date. So we need at least 2 new pinch rollers, I'd say. Is that rubber actually cracked or what is that? Oh, good. Oh, it does come out. I was wondering if it would come out if I... whether I need to take... oh, well, I'm not sure that should come out. Maybe not. Normally it would take the whole... what holds that on? Okay. I glued this piece back in, and admittedly it seems to have stuck fairly well. I stuck it at the broken end, a little bit where the hole went through, and some of that black plastic underneath just to give it a bit more. It's probably not going to be the strongest thing, but it'll hold together for now. And this, I just put this metal bit over the little tabs and twisted it a bit and just put some glue on the back of the plastic there. So that should hold that together. I better give that a bit of a clean before I put it in, I think, because it was hard to get out from memory. So I might as well just at least get this thing patched up. Okay. And all this, oh my god, look at the other one, absolutely filthy. And the other side of this one, my god, someone's been using some terrible tapes in here. Maybe I should put it back together so I'm not messing around with those connectors. Oh, that's right, I got a pinch roller out as well because the pinch roller was all rusted up. I think 2 of them are a bit rusty. God, yeah, I forgot all about it. It's been a few days since I last looked at this thing. I thought I'll at least get everything glued up. I guess I should put a little bit of light oil on there while I got it out. Even though it's probably not going to matter with this thing. I'm not sure this stereo's going to be much good for anything anyway. But I sort of thought I'd grab it for parts if nothing else. Because why not? I'm a bit down on part supply these days. And it may still end up being used for parts. I don't know, I have to see what the CD player's like, but I think from memory it was working fairly well, so that might... whoops, why did that not go on? Something weird just happened. I could have sworn that I was sliding down the shaft and now I've lost it. It's doing something weird. That's it. Yeah, it's one part of it's peeling right up. But that's on there now. So I don't know what these belts are like, but they're probably good enough for now. Now I've got to remember how to get them back on here, because yeah, one I think went that way. Is there a slot in that thing? Yeah, there is. And the other one, I forgot now, did it go around here and back down under that one? Let's see. That gets one. We don't know which way the tape's going, do we? What's the top of the deck and what's the bottom of the deck? Well, that must be the bottom because that's where the capstans are. So they've got to go that one outwards. Yeah, that would be right. Possibly, at least they both go in the same direction. Well, opposite directions, but same. The correct direction for the tape. And what way made them go that way? It was going, yeah, counterclockwise from this angle. Yeah, and that's the same. So I think that's correct. What is this, a left motor But wait, if that's counterclockwise on the front, yeah, that's alright, that's the same. That'll make that rotate outwards, which is what we want. No, that's correct, I think. If I can get them now, which one goes on the top and which one goes on the bottom? That looks like it's the bottom side because it's lower. So I've got to get the other one on first. Where's my little hook? Don't know if that's suitable in this situation, but I should get in the habit of trying to use these things. Now I need to get that above that white pulley. It does not want to go above that white pulley, does it? It just wants to drop down below and then peel up and in weird ways. Not that surprising. Now how do I... That's what I want, the little hook thing. If I can get it roughly in the right spot, get the motor close to where it's got to go. Yeah, that's got it in the upper pulley. And that one I guess loops out. Now I'm going to clash with the other belt, but oh, that's nearly on. You set the motor's way too high. Yeah, that's actually sitting on there. That seems a bit loose. Maybe these belts are worse than I thought. Oh no, the back of the motor needs to swing, but I can't make it go because there's a silly bracket thing there. Guess I should have looked and reminded myself what we're going to do here. I can't get that bit down there. How does that silly thing go? That's it. Well, I think we're on. Merely they're pretty slippery belts, I think. Ugh, big lump in that one. Well, if that's not rotating the other one, I'd say that belt may have to be replaced, unfortunately. Ah, God, useless. So making is it actually working properly? Because what's that weird noise it's making? If I rotate this one, the others go for a bit and then it stops. Those rotate the motor nicely without rotating this lot. Yeah, I think that belt, either that or something stiff on this deck. That's fine. Don't know if I can lift that off here. I probably can. Or not. Then that's got this other bit, so I can't really tell if that's free or not, but it's not too bad. I was hoping to avoid that, but I couldn't remember from last time. I don't know if I even better look at the big bulge in that. That's a bit of a dead giveaway. That belt's had its day, I think. So we've got to take this other belt off. Basically, no, or at least I might be able to leave the other belt on while I do this, as in the other deck, because that's the upper one. I can just hopefully hook. Yeah, this tool's kind of the go, I think, to make life easier with this stuff. Let's get that out of there. Oh, look at the shape of it. It's pretty well staying where it was. So it's got to go. I want to go around that little pulley. Let's bring everything back where we can actually see it and reach it. So it goes around the little pulley under the capstan on the, well, it's on the right in this position. Like so, and then I've got to get it over the motor. Doesn't really matter if everything quite makes it yet, because there'll be a bit of fiddling around yet. But yeah, this tool's actually brilliant. I can just hook that on, brilliant. That's a lot easier. Well, it's still slipping a little bit, but we're going to get a little bit trying to wind the whole mech, especially with that one, because that's barely got any belt against it, so we can't really count on that. But yeah, now we're turning everything with this side, trying to do it with this one, yeah, a little bit. It's only got a tiny bit of belt across it, so I can't expect enough friction there, but that's all running, and we've got to put this think this little belt was okay. I don't think I'll bother replacing it. That's too low. Should go on the upper side because it's scraping on the other belt. It must go under the little clutch there. Don't know why they got a double pulley there. Oh, because good old Japanese, they always make all these parts the same. And in one deck you use the lower and the other deck you use the upper, because you've swapped the height of the other belts around so they both can go on the same pulley on the motor. So yeah, very, very Japanese thing to do, to keep the inventory down to the minimum number of parts. It was always a good thing, because it means if you need parts to fix something or something that's often the same bits, or if you're fixing up a second-hand one and you've got another deck, you can just pinch the good one if one of them's broken or something off the other deck. Yeah, that should be fine. Now, I don't remember what screws went where now. That's the next hassle. Although we've got to fix that. Well, these black screws on the back, or these yellow... What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 there. I might have to go back and look at the video. I don't reckon the black ones were... 1, 2, 3, 4, and another 2, yeah, for the motor. That would probably be it. I'm sure these gold ones are the right ones. Oh, well, if they're not, we'll soon find out, I guess. The good point is, what did the black ones come from? Were they... Did I unscrew something with the doors or something? I honestly can't remember. No switches or anything on this board by the look of it. Geez, it's a tight fit. When you get it on the angle here, it's really pulling on those head wires. So what's stopping it going any further? Because I don't want to pull on them. There must be this motor wire. Is that causing me... Oh, did that plug in somewhere? Where does that go? I think... Oh, did that come through the hole? Maybe it came through the hole and then went on there. That would probably make sense. Oh, these short head wires are really not good. Come out of there. God, it really is fighting getting the board back on. Always the more fragile the thing, the more trouble you seem to have with it. And we've got an earth wire. That's probably just when the mech goes back on the front panel, which we're away from doing. I just want to get this board, probably should only put a couple of screws in, but damn me, I'll do them all, hoping that I'll never have to touch it again. But every time you reassemble it all, it needs to come apart again. Okay, let's give this thing a clean. And then we can put the doors back on. Much easier to clean it without the doors, I think. There is some serious dust in that. Got a bunch of switches up here. I've got a spring with some muck on it. Oh, that one too. Is that dried up grease, or did it have foam or something? I don't think they put foam in those springs. Oh, that is really dirty. Gonna have to really cotton bud all the dirt off around the heads, I think, because it's just caked on now. Yeah, I think one of these heads was out originally, but I think when I moved the mech, when I was fiddling around with the capstans, it came back in the... I probably should have done that one last, just make sure there's no oil on that one I did before. It's mostly just dirt on that one, but this one's... So they've mostly been played in the one direction, I think. Which is kind of weird. You'd think a auto reverse would get both sides done equally, but just get those pinch rollers clean. I think that one's a bit rusty. Yeah, they're all rusty. But I did try them, and I think only one was stiff, or not. That one's a little... Yeah, that's loose on the white bit inside. I wonder if it's meant to be. No, that one isn't. I wouldn't have thought so. I had a feeling this one might be. It's almost... I wonder if they've worn a bit off them or something. No, that one's hard. I bet if I push hard enough it'll probably come out, but... Looks like I might have already cleaned that one. Ah, that's right, the pin is all rusted. I think in one of the other ones I used a bit of, is that a lump of rust? Yeah, it's something chunky. I think I actually used sandpaper or something, fine sandpaper to clean it up. Because these really need replacing. It probably would have bought them originally as a whole assembly, including that plastic bracket. So that's a bit of an unexpected environment-related issue with these things. Because I think the old ones used to use stainless steel pins, but I could be wrong. But you can guarantee the newer they get, probably the cheaper they get. That'll probably have to do, to be honest. I'll just, like I say, I don't really want to put oil on there, but I think just getting that off, it fits through there really nice and loosely now, probably too loose. I'll just clean that bracket off a bit. And what did I do? You popped one end in, I think, and then, oh, what did I get the pin right out? I've forgotten now. Usually got to poke the pin out one way. That's got a blocking plate. Oh no, they're both blocked. No, I can see a hole there. No, that popped back in. Yeah, that doesn't sound the best. Oh, look at the play in it. That's ridiculous. That is shot, I think. And that one's got quite a bit as well. Yeah, that's an issue. Now I've got some new pin holes, but I don't know if they'll fit that, but you never know. Got to work out what I did with them. There they are. Be interesting to see, I guess, while we're at it. Not as wide, which could mean they move around in there. Oh yeah, no, that does fit just. It's a little tighter than probably ideal, but that's got to be better than that loose old. And it centers in there perfectly. Oh, well, there you go. We might have a eBay special replacement that will do the job. I think it's the same diameter. Very close anyway. Oh, that's handy. That's what I thought. I might as well just buy a pack of 10 or whatever I did, because they may come in handy. But that, so the white plastic moves around. Do I have to press on something there to get it out? No, they just sort of come, I think. But still got the problem of you've got the old pin in there which is rusted. Yeah, that white piece. Yes, yeah, because no, that's why, because it's seized on. Hopefully not too tightly. There we go. God, look at the rust. That's just shot. So now that I've found a source of pinch rollers, we need a source of pinch roller pins by the look of it. Because normally these were in good condition and you just replace the rubber part as a bit, but if you could still get the parts from Sony, you could order the whole thing. I think came as a whole unit. But for most repairs, if that bit was all in good condition, it was a lot cheaper just to, and quicker of course, to stock the standard pinch rollers and just replace them. Otherwise you'd have to order from Sony and wait and all that sort of thing, a couple of trips to order it and then pick it up, and potentially, depending how you did it, if you went through the local service agents or something, which often you did because it was just easy to go and look up a part number out of their menu and get them to order it so you actually got the right thing, which could often be done on the way to work or whatever, but still. Even better if you've got something in stock you can just use, like a Wagner part or whatever, and get the thing done on the spot. That's not, like I say, a little tight maybe it could do with a little bit of lube, but that's not going to be any real friction. I mean, I do suspect They're a little noisy too, so they might be a little loose, but no real bad play there. But these other ones are shot, I think. They can go in the rubbish. And then I'm going to get this absolute muck off this capstan. Oh, I could have saved myself cleaning some pin rollers there and just replaced them instead. I think one I didn't do, so that's something. It'd be nice if we could just replace everything rather than clean it. But this is more of a resurrection for now, just to see if this can be got going. And I don't think I ever really worked on any of these Sony tape decks. They normally just kept going and going back when they were a lot younger. Even though a lot of them were still getting 10 years old and stuff then. Back in when the CD players were getting to the age they needed repairing on these things. But like I say, once the CD era was sort of in the 90s and stuff, it wasn't so much tape usage by most people. So they never necessarily got a lot of use. But whoever owned this one definitely gave it a good bit of workout by the look of it. Just from the amount of dirt on them. I can't remember last time I saw a tape deck this dirty. I definitely had some bad tapes. Or maybe it was just a hell of a lot of usage and not a single clean ever. Come off there. Almost going to have to get a scourer onto this one. I think it's got a ring of really tight or hard stuff. It probably doesn't matter because it's probably off the tape path a bit, but I'm going to scour it. Not always recommended to do, but it may leave some little scratches on the thing, but in this case it's not an important one. Doubt it's ever going to cause any serious problems, but you never know. Clean all that muck off around the head. Now, did I clean that one? I think I did. Yeah, it still seems rather dusty, or is that the rubber's going weird? Maybe I didn't clean it. Now the other one's dried up. They've got so much muck on them, when they dry out they kind of go a whitish colour. Which can be an issue with the rubbers deteriorating. Yeah, they're definitely a bit stiffer, those eBay, but of course they got the rusty, that one's popping out I think, they got the rusty pins. I think they'll be fine, they shouldn't affect playback much. You've got to be careful they're not so tight they cause wow or something. I should be able to put these doors back on, I think. Now how do they go? Where's the gear? The gears are on the inside and there's a spring still attached to this one. Yeah, so that clips into there. The other bit, these should spring enough. But where did this spring go exactly? And that's the problem. I can't remember now. So I better work out where the spring has to go, I guess. What have we got? Oh, there was a pin. Oh, that went into this metal piece. That's the little bit to hold it in. So was that? Oh yeah, that spring would fit like that, I think. Ooh, don't like the sounds like that, but where did the other half of it go is the next problem. Why won't that sit in its little hole? Don't know, but that door does not want to sit back into that white plastic bit now. Oh, have you got to go a particular... Oh, it's got a little flat bit there. Well, that would be part of it, I reckon. Now I've got this spring trying to push everything back up. I can't get it back in. Yeah, that's it. You've got to go in the closed position or close to it. What does this spring sit on? Oh, it'd be on the other side. Where's the pin? Oh, up there. I think the spring goes, I can see a little greasy slot here would be where the spring goes. That's, of course, now it's trapped behind everything here. Yeah, that would be in there. Like so, I think. So we'll get the white plastic in that end, try and bend this in. And it's catching on the pinch roller a bit, but that's it, I think. And that, yeah, I can see the little, yeah. How do we eject these? Oh, this lever, I think. Yeah, that's it. Well, at least it's holding in there, but of course with these big strong springs on there, it's going to be trying to push to break that thing off again. It'll probably last a while fine, but as soon as someone thumps it too hard or something, that'll be the end of that probably. But like I say, for just getting it going, that'll be fine. Now what do we have there? The little slot on the back is where one part of the spring goes around that pin. And then, yeah, there's our greasy slot on the mechanism. Now we've got to tilt it back in, down that hole where the gear is. I guess that's the thing to slow the door down. Oh. Got to be careful not to put too much pressure on this white. Ooh, a piece of white plastic just fell out, but there was a broken bit down in the hole I could see. That's the little piece off the back of it that broke. That feels a little iffy. And it certainly shoots open, that one. That one at least tries to go slowly. Maybe not. I wonder if they're sitting in place. I wonder if there's... Ooh. The white bit's already lifting off here. I think that's... If that moves a bit. Can't believe that's already loosened off, but not surprising. It's hard to get Araldite to stick to things like that. So they're not pushing into the gears properly, probably. I reckon if we push that up a bit, yes, it opens fine then. I need to shove maybe something in there. If I push up there, yeah, it opens fine. Well, it's not the happiest thing on earth. That little release bit's probably not the best, but we can live with that. Problem is, if I push up on it, is it going to start trying to fall off again? It's not much holding that on there. I was hoping it would last a bit longer than that. But I might shove a bit of cable tie or something in there. Just a bit of plastic to... Yeah, that's the perfect sort of thing, just to jam in there. To try and keep it pushing up a bit. Yeah, that's good enough, I think. You could glue that in there, but not much point when this thing's actually broken and probably going to fall off again. I think there's another hi-fi component tape deck that may... I'm pretty sure it's got these two close together decks in it. So these might be useful for parts for that yet. And that might be their ultimate use in the end. Now we had these cables. I think I left them hopefully sitting in the right position. Oh, motor's got to plug in. But they're about as fixed as they're ever going to be, I think. Do I want that bit of plastic? Don't think so. So that's not a very good design, having just a flimsy plastic thing there. I mean, mind you, in the day it was probably not as brittle as it is now, and probably fine. And if this thing's been exposed to sun and stuff, possibly can't blame Sony for all of it, but it's not a good place to have plastic. They got metal on the other ends. Having plastic there is just asking for something to get broken eventually. Because that's one of the points where people put a lot of potential pressure on. It can get bumped on, the doors can get bumped. Oh, actually we've got to fit the doors up under the, got to hit eject so they go up through that hole. Get this back on this front panel. Is that where those black screws went? I'm not even sure. I'm still not sure what screw went where, but they must have done. Okay, so I've got power on it. It's in some sort of demo mode rubbish at the moment, probably because it's been off the That's not power, that's function. I'm thinking function's power on this one for some reason. Something's function is what it's called. CD's doing something. How do I eject these again? Oh. Is that the eject button? What happened to the eject buttons on this thing? Oh, they're on the floor. Ah, God. That's what happens when you leave things lying around for a week. There's the eject buttons. That'll be right. So, I'm going to have to... Well, how do they go in there? Oh, I think we can still slide them in. Probably should clean them though. No, I probably should have put them in before the decks went in. Of course, anyway. Oh, it looks like either one does it. Oh, it doesn't open the door though, does it? But anyway, that's... Can I press on... Where's those switches gone? There's a heap of switches there, now I can't find it. Whoop. Well, it did something. Doesn't sound that best. We've got to take up reel though. And I think the auto stop just cut off. Can't get my finger in there quick enough to... That is making some weird sounds. Yeah, if I keep the reel turning, that one's good. I can get to the eject here with manually, I guess. That deck is not so willing to work. It's got another switch here. And I've got to press the other side. Oop, that's got jammed in the middle with the head half turned. Oh, that one isn't so happy. It's almost like the belt's come off or something. Oh, we got, yeah, that's the motor that flicks. Yeah, definitely that middle motor does the getting of the cam running. I can see like a shadow on the two geared bits that are the slow release for the doors. Every time I do something that I can see a shadow there because that's that motor swinging that little reel thing across. And it does it, but nothing happens. Why have I not even got caps? So we've got capstans going on one side. Has a belt come off? Both belts are on there. What the hell is that not? Usually when you get these things going, all the capstans run together. Now it doesn't want to run again. What's the problem? That side's running, but no capstan on this side. Isn't that the same motor? Oh, because this is jammed maybe? That belt shouldn't be slip. I think we've still got a slippy belt because... Oh, there we go. I wound it round and it... Oh, now it's working again. Because when I went to change direction, I think it stuffs up. So there's something in there, maybe it is just too much friction in there somewhere. That's when it tries to wind that plate across. If I get it into that position, yeah, it goes, but of course auto stop kicks in. Other direction's fine. So maybe that new belt wasn't tight enough, don't know. Or there's something with a lot of friction, but we should have at least one direction playing. So that's a start. Now where's that tape that came with it? The Songs of Joy. Near my God to thee, all through the night, how great thou art. Sweet hour of prayer. Old rugged cross. Power would be good. Yeah, make sure we haven't got stupid amounts of volume, I guess. Oh, I would if I could see our volume on minimum. Well, I hope it sounds better than that. eject it easily, can I? And just being careful when I poke my fingers now it's got power on it. That direction should work. Well, that sounds a lot better. And yeah, it crashes when you try and... Don't think it's coming back either. Hopefully it didn't do anything to the tape. Yeah, no, it's stuck. And that drops off, goes back. So it's got some sort of reset to get the head back. Even when it goes into auto stop, it must always swing the heads back to facing a particular direction. That other deck sounds terrible. I wonder why. I cleaned the heads. Well, I hope I did. Yeah, it looks clean to me. It doesn't sound clean though. There's still something on there. Sometimes you just get a bit of stubborn stuff that you don't really see, but let's give it one more clean, or else it's not coming up right or something. Seems a bit... that one's got a bit of play in it. That's got a lot of play in it. Don't tell me the head's loose. Oh wow, when you clean it, it just wobbles around like anything. The other one wobbles a bit, but is it as bad? No, that's loose as, I think. Yeah, I didn't even notice that, so maybe with a lot of use it's worn out the rotating part or something. Well, it sounds better now. Not as good as it can, but maybe putting it in and out will change that. That's enough of that. Try our love songs again. Might be a bit of wow in that. Certainly doesn't sound the best. Oh, this double door thing's horrible. No wonder it got broken. It's absolutely no wonder at all that it got broken. Having to press on this great big silly thing. That's a real sort of rubbishy idea. Having a lot of wow on that deck. Not sure if it's just on that one, but those pin trollers being a bit rubbishy probably doesn't help. And then I replaced a couple. Yeah, it's definitely better on that deck, I think. Sounds slower on that one, even though it's the same motor, so that's not a good sign. But it could be that something in there's still a bit bound up or something, or the pinch rollers, the capstans. But anyway, that's sort of got the worst of it going. And I did give this CD player a bit of a clean up while I had the thing apart. I manually rotated it around, but it's still a bit dirty, but not the end of the world. What was the CD that came with this thing? I can't even remember. It's probably all scratched up now from lying on the floor. Yeah, play button. Oop. Ah, it's on the wrong CD, I guess. What was that? That was number 1, I think. And these rotary track selector things. And then it goes back to track 1. That's not a lot of use, but anyway. CD seems to work absolutely fine. Now, what do I want to do? How do I eject one of them? Just skip it round. Oh, it's got the little orange light that lights up underneath, that's right. So let's chuck that one away. And see if this is as easy to work on as I remember. And there's the hole for the CD player that I opened up earlier. Now, does that just drop out? Because my memory, about the only time I worked on these things was for the CD player. That's where a magnetic screwdriver's handy. And from memory, this should just be possible. Do I need to unplug it to get out through the bottom without too much hassle, or even taking the top cover off or anything. Yeah, this is the kind of thing I remember. I got the power off, because that'll definitely need a clean, I would think. Oh, look, cobwebs and all in it. And it still works pretty well, but it's actually, the laser's clean. Doesn't really need a clean. Which is a miracle. This thing was absolutely filthy. I took it outside and cleaned it out a bit, and there was dust everywhere. Oh, this has got the dust cover on it. So why isn't it closed at the moment? Shouldn't that be closed? But there's not even dust on the dust cover. That spindle's a bit grotty looking. I might give that a clean. Probably not enough to worry anything, but still. Now I've lost the method because it's under the machine. Yeah, a bit of muck coming off there. Like I say, probably not enough on there to cause any real issues, but any bit of stuff on there is not good for it normally. Just makes the disc wobble around a bit more potentially. And you can clean the same bit, the clamp on the other side. That looks pretty clean. What has it got in there? It's a KSS. Oh, the label's fallen off, that's handy, but it looks like a 240. It could be a 213D, but I think pretty much all these Sonys are KSS 240 lasers. Let's get a bit of that dust off. Yeah, I think the D version of the 213 had 3 pots or something there, so I think it's a 240, just one adjustment pot. Most likely a 240. I ever saw many Sonys with the KSS 213, if any. They've probably used them in something, but even though it's meant to be a Sony laser, but whether they're really made by Sony or not. Now let's see, that must go in that hole there. Oh, there goes something. It might have been that label that was fell off. Oh, it is too. Can I get it to stick to my finger? Ah, no such luck. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Can I get it? I managed to knock it over, but not... Oh, I got it. Oh, it is a 213D. Huh! What are the chances? Gee, that would have been annoying if you tried to put a 240 in there. Did I say DLC? But I knew it was something the later. So it's a 213. I'll be. If I've got some sticky tape, I better stick that in here somewhere, probably to the bottom cover. Yeah, that's all bent like anything. Not surprising, but I'll just stick that label on the inside of the bottom cover. so that if anyone has to deal with that one day, they know what it is. And better put that screw back in, or we'll have the thing dropping out if we're not careful. Hopefully that thing that pushes the cover back on the laser is where it should be. I think we can put that back on. Oh, did I do it on the right side? Some of the screw markings are there. Oh, the screws go that way, that's right. Whoop. Now, they're metal threads, I think, which we seem to have plenty of. I get a bad feeling I put the wrong screws to hold the front panel on, but it's going to have to come off anyway to get the eject buttons in, if nothing else. Maybe see if we can see what's going on with that deck. So, I said I shouldn't have put all the screws back in the tape deck, and there's one reason why, because I forgot to put the eject things in. Well, let's just see. Which deck is it? This? Oh no, this isn't the one that's slipping. That's this other side. So it wasn't, so maybe the belt on this other one is also... It's probably all it is, because I didn't change that belt, but if I hold the other side, yeah, now I can turn the other side and stall that one a bit. Doesn't feel that bad. Like it's nowhere near as slippery as the other one was, but maybe that's all it is. Just when it gets to that high tension bit of, or high torque, high resistance thing of where it has to turn the head around and slide a big slide plate thing across to do it, because it seems to spring back the other way almost automatically when the auto stop kicks in. So maybe it's just the worker trying to do that is just the belt being a bit old. That's why you would normally just replace all the belts and not mess around, but I thought that one I could get away without changing that one. And found out I couldn't, I think. Now I better put those eject buttons back in place. Didn't realise they were loose, and this thing's been lying around and been knocked over a couple of times and stuff while I was doing other stuff, so it's not surprising they fell out. Of course, normally you don't leave it lying around like that. Yes, that's the deck on this side, which is the one I didn't change the belt on. I don't think that bit has anything to do with it, that's just all the idler. If these little belts go, they're probably going to lead to bad rewind or fast forward. They still got plenty of life in them. But if I stall that side, yeah, that turns quite easily. Can't see if the motor's turning, but it shouldn't be, because this other one, being a new belt, should break it. How do I tell if the motor's turning? There's nothing on it. Oh, you can just make out. Oh, there's some sort of dirty... Yeah, no, that stops. Or is it? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to mark it somehow. Of course, you can't get a bloody pen down there. I'll put a scratch on it or something. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I've got a scratch mark on it. No, when I turn those, they're trying to turn it, but no, they flick it a bit. So you can pretty well guarantee that belt slipping is the issue. So that's another way of testing it. Okay, let's switch this thing back on. Something's resetting itself in the tape deck. Lights flashing. Which buttons were they? It's making a bit more noise than it was. Yay, we changed direction. Interesting, squealing away like that. So maybe because there's more load on the motor. So for all I know, this motor's on its way out. I mean, it was a bit, that might be where the wow's coming from. And it's squealing, it was squealing a bit in the other deck before, I think. Yeah, now we've got wow on this deck. Bad wow. So that could be due to that. It's the problem, you fix one thing and you find another problem.
Yeah, but it feels so right.
So they both mechanically work, but they both sound as bad as each other now. Now it's possible it's one of those capstans and I should have probably pulled them all out and lubricated them. It's not likely to be. It does it even without the decks in place, so it's not the pinch rollers or anything. Because I think what happened when I first powered it up, yeah, something runs. Yeah, I think we've got a noisy motor. Now that I put an extra belt on there, it's a bit tighter. That's probably enough to upset the thing. And I just want to check the CD player still works. Yeah. So it reads that one okay. Don't have any tracks on that one. Oh, it's gone to the next disc, but yeah, that seems to be working. Ooh, it's gonna, yeah, son of a, always one out. Is there a better way of doing this? Yeah, I'm really not a fan of this era of Sony stuff. Yeah, it's got this silly rotary thing to go to a track, yeah, change tracks. There's probably the remote control would have had something. Opens the door, so it's just got a silly door thing there, and I think we just skip a couple of times to get it back out where we want it. Really not a fan of this design. At least the other ones got this silly little hole with a door on it, whereas normally these ones you'd have the tray comes out. I guess it saves costs from Sony's point of view, so at least a tray you could get to 3 discs if you wanted to. You could often just get 2 of them partly sticking out and slide them out and change them if you wanted to, whereas this you're stuck to 1 disc at a time. But yeah, not a great era of Sony stuff, this one. And unfortunately, yeah, I think we've got a dud motor in that tape deck. And we've got a broken bit on these doors. And it really probably could do with 4 new pinch rollers would be the ideal thing. Yeah, I think they're plenty loose enough, those new ones. I guess I should really get my new ones out there, but for the moment I think I've had enough of looking at this thing. So I've got a bit of a resurrection out of it. I mean, as a CD player, just like for a workshop one or something, which is probably, looking at the amount of dust on this thing, probably what it was used for last. I might just resolder those solder joints on the end of it as well, even though it probably won't get used, but they're quite a nice amplifier and stuff, but it is quite a big system. But, you know, probably sort of thing you could use for a party or something, and if you blow it up you don't really care. They put out pretty decent volume, these things. If you added like, yeah, a way of getting Bluetooth into it or something might be the way to do it. But yeah, these were really not the nicest systems. They were sort of lower end version, high density head. But some of the parts in it might be useful. I think this is still going to be a bit of a parts unit only. I already have like 2 systems like this. I must dig out one my neighbour gave me somewhere lying around here. I'm pretty sure it's a better one with a proper CD drawer that comes out, but I could be wrong about that. And I've got one that's like in 2 pieces that had been switched to 120 volts and blown a few bits. Someone quoted him $400 or $500 to fix it, and I think it took me about half an hour and a couple of second-hand parts. I actually had to buy an amp chip for $20 for it, I think. And a second-hand driver IC in the motor driver for the CD player, I think, and a blown fuse link somewhere, and that was it. But that's quite a nice system. That's got a proper 5-disc though. It is built in with a, where is it? Oh, a tape deck and CD in one half, and sort of amplifier, tuner. Looks like it's got a spectrum analyzer display as well in the other half. And then I do have my old system, which was 4 or 5 separate components, but the amp has a blown amp chip and needs a new volume pot. Unfortunately, I don't think this thing, I was going to check, did this have a volume pot in it? Nah, definitely just one of those digital little flicker things. So that's about all I'll do with this one for now, so thanks for watching.